evidential mediums as they connect with people who have crossed over to the other side and deliver messages from those people. We hope that by watching us work, you will come to understand that the loved ones you may have lost are in fact still with you. So please join us in this sacred energy as we open with a prayer. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make this circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning, so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. Okay, we've got 5 people here today, so how about if we go 12 minutes each? Does that work for everybody? Okay, sounds good. Who wants to start?
Okay, I can go ahead and start us off.
Tammy, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a male here with me who is showing me to be. He's showing me to be on the maternal side, but I'm not feeling that he's a direct family relative, but he could be. But just in my mind map, he's on the maternal side, but what I'm feeling is that he's not a direct family relative. And what he shows me that's really significant at first that he comes in with, and we understand that usually the first thing they show us is the most important, and it's the way the recipient would understand who they are. They show me drumming. So drumming was very important to this person. And I understand that they were very passionate about playing music. I also understand that this person performed because they're showing me a stage, and I feel that they also were very good at directing people to do things to prepare for a performance. So let me just check in before I get any more information to see who he is here for.
I am listening.
You're listening. Okay, thanks, Carol. Okay, so okay, he shows me a group of 1, 2, 3. He shows me a group of that he is with a group. He is part of a group of 3. Sometimes a 4th will join in. Does that make sense to you?
If it's a group of 3, then that man is alive.
Okay, this does happen sometimes. He said sometimes a 4th will come in.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to keep going, even though this person may be living. Okay, so he also shows me that there's a real camaraderie with this group of. It's a group of men, actually. I don't see a woman there, so it's a group of men.
Okay? Yes.
Oh, interesting. One plays some type of a wind instrument. Would you understand that?
No.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, we'll set that aside. But yeah, it's very clear. A wind instrument, and it almost looks like a I don't know, the one that's on the side. I'm not sure if that's the flute.
Flute.
Okay. Let's just see what else he's going to show me now. He also shows me that it looks like they go to a place that is where they're regulars, and that's, we're like a bar type place. Well, it is a bar, but it's very casual. Darts are there, like they're playing darts. Oh, interesting. Okay, they also sit and will strategize at this bar. So they'll sit and strategize about a performance or about music. Would you understand the place they're talking about?
I don't know the place, but it would make sense that they would strategize about their performances.
Okay. Um, okay. We all know names can be really tricky, but tricky, but Ricky is what's coming in. So hold on to that name if you can't identify or resonate, if that name doesn't resonate with you, but that's what I'm feeling. So I'm going to check in with you with that. Ricky?
I don't know.
Okay. How well do you know this?
I know him very well. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, great. Then I'll just keep going. Um, oh, okay. He's starting to talk to me now. There's a woman in my life. She's the love of my life. Would you understand that about him?
I would guess.
Um, we've known each other for a very long time, he says. Okay. He's talking about that they're very good about being independent. So they don't do everything together. And so they're comfortable. Okay. They're very comfortable with having their own separate passions. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand that?
I don't know the woman personally.
Okay. Would you know of the relationship?
I know of the relationship, but I should disclose that my relationship to the male was a long time ago.
Okay. 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 So no problem. Let's see if he can bring something that's current that you would understand. Okay. He just gave me Buffalo Springfield. So,
That
I'll,
actually makes sense. Yeah.
um, okay. And he's talking about you always liked his lyrics. Snappy, something like snappy. Um, and that you felt the music was rich, is how he's describing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
This. Okay, one of the boys got sick. Okay. Um, yeah, and I'm hesitating about that because you said you knew one of them. So, going off in that direction, I'm just afraid that you won't really know that information. But
I would not know.
okay, um, okay. Let me just pull him back in here. Okay, he's talking about we could never just get that. They traveled around, but it was more local. We could never get that big, gig, to kind of make it big. But it didn't really matter because we loved what we were doing. And when you love what you're doing, then that's not as important. We didn't live high on the hog, that's for sure.
Correct.
We constantly had money problems. That's the way of the life of a musician.
Yep.
I had an old clunker of a car he's talking about.
He did.
It was like an old VW type, he's calling it.
I don't remember the make.
Four on the floor, he's talking about. That's shifting, the four on the floor, shifting. He's calling you very smart, very diligent. Okay. And I'm not sure whether this is accurate because it may be because my human brain may be getting in there a little bit because you said, it was a long time ago. But I keep hearing high school, high school, high school. Would you understand high school?
That's close. Yeah.
Okay. He's describing himself as we were like the beatniks.
Yes.
Okay, the crowd that they weren't really involved in school stuff. They were kind of off to the side doing their own thing.
Yes.
Okay, he's funny because he says we definitely weren't hanging with the cheerleaders. That's for sure.
Yep.
And let me just get a sense of his a little bit more of his personality, and then I'll get a message if you'd like to leave one. He's just saying, I was just chill. I was just chill. I didn't cause any trouble. I was just chill, playing my music. Quiet. He says he was quiet.
He was. Yeah.
Never a big partier. Okay. Sometimes a little sad, which is what he thinks made him a good songwriter. Passionate. He describes himself as passionate.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just see. Thank him for coming in today and ask him if he'd like to leave a message or words of wisdom for us in our group here. He's talking about our group and how that we're smooth. He said, like much like how he described himself, that we're very smooth. And our combined energy makes us a powerful force.
I agree.
We're rocking it. And then he says, I'm sounding so formal, but I'm very pleased, to have come in today. And he says that's unusually formal for him to word it in that way. But, I'll thank him for coming in. So,
Thank you, Tammy. Okay. So, do you want some feedback? Okay. So this would have been a guy that I dated about 2 years out of high school. Okay, who was a drummer for a jazz trio. So they performed as a trio. You talked about the woodwind instrument. When they were in the trio, they did not have the woodwind player, but they may have had a fourth after, okay, or added a fourth after. I don't know because I'll be frank, he dumped me very cruelly. so so he's talking about the woman who was the love of his life. That was not me. Okay. I know that he eventually got married to somebody else. Okay. But everything else makes sense. He talked about the music of Buffalo Springfield. Well, that would have been right around the time that Buffalo Springfield was um, big, a big band. And in terms of the high school references were rather funny because they were very much like out of the mainstream. Okay. Because they were all musicians and kind of like dedicated to their craft. He actually got sent home from school once because his pants were too tight. Okay. Well, it was the 70s. That's what they did. So, But but yeah, I thank you for that, Tammy. That was great to hear from him.
Right. The name Ricky, no,
I don't know who Ricky is. No, no. All right. Who would like to go next?
I'll go. Carol,
Joanne, thank you.
I have very little information, but we'll start. And but what I like about this gentleman, he's very, I feel like very free-spirited. He feels very optimistic, and he presented himself, which is really interesting. He had a fedora, and he had like this pep in his step, and then he had a cane, like he was swinging around, and and I felt like it was like a performance he had done. I don't know the relationship right now, and I'm going to ask him to sort of merge with me, so I have a better connection with him. And what I heard him say, he was starting to sing, and I don't know the lyrics, and it's a good thing I don't sing because I don't have a great voice. Um, especially now that I've recovered from a cold. But he was singing me and my whatever. I forgot the lyrics, additional lyrics to that. And this gentleman, you would know him because when he walked in the room, he had a presence about him. I feel that he also he had he was kind of fuller, not really a thin gentleman. Okay, I'm going to stop there because that's all the information I have. And can anyone take a description of this gentleman? Could have been that he performed or he liked to dress that way. I'm not quite sure at this time.
I'm listening.
Okay, I thought I was with you, Carol.
So is Candace, though.
I Candace. Okay, okay.
Duke it out.
And it was interesting. Okay, yes. Okay. And interesting. And now that Candace had said that, I feel that also. Hmm, interesting. Hmm. I'm hearing an accent. So I think I might be leaning towards Candace, unless Carol, you could understand that. I'm
I didn't
hearing
hear
more.
that word you said. I'm
He
sorry.
has an accent. He doesn't have an American accent,
Accent. No, can't take that.
unless you understand that. Candace, this gentleman was an American. He was not American. Okay. And I just feel like he's so he can be so gregarious and joyful as he walked. And like I hear him whistling. And would you understand that, Candace, about this gentleman?
Yeah.
Beautiful energy. And I feel that also he was always well dressed, put together. He'd go in, and I'm loving his energy, and this is what I need to live, especially after recovering this cold. He goes in and he greets people, and he just makes people's day just by his presence.
Mhm.
He'll open the door. He just had common courtesy. He was very polite. It's who he was as a person.
Mhm.
What we call, and it makes me tear up, but it's what we call ourselves light workers. But this gentleman was a light worker and he didn't even know it. Would you understand this about this gentleman?
Yeah.
It was just him being him.
Mhm.
And as he walked, I'm getting a sense that he's related to you. But do you understand that, Candace?
Yeah.
I feel that, and and Spirit's been testing me on this because I normally like to know relationships. I feel that it's a grandfather. And if it's not
Yes.
a, yeah, okay, okay. Thank you. And he enjoyed having conversation with people.
Mhm.
His essence of just getting up on the day, and that was like, I felt like his ministry was to be there for other people. Would you understand that about your grandfather?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. He is, I'm asking him to give me something that you would understand, Candace. And names can be tricky, but you know what? We're always practicing. And I hear hmm, like Ralphie associated. Could be sounding, names could be very tricky, but I'll leave it there. And there's something about his fedora. He wore a fedora, and I see him like holding it and like brushing it off and making sure it's like clean and everything. And he had his proper place for his fedora. And he's now showing me, I feel like he was very modest also.
Yeah.
And he is now showing me, I think he lived also very modestly, like his home.
Mhm.
He was not into frills or anything.
No.
And he's telling me it was like the simple things in life. He just relished that simple
Mhm.
conversation, having tea.
Mhm.
And he just enjoyed being with his family.
Yes.
And I'm getting a glimpse of your grandmother.
Mhm.
So she's sort of slowly coming through. And this, okay. I'm going to describe her to see if I can get her. He's showing me. I feel like she was a petite woman. Would you understand that, her being petite?
Mhm.
And not everyone, the way she's presenting herself, she, her hair is curled like gray. Like I feel like it was gray, and it wasn't like really short, but it was not really long. Like that's how she had her hair. Would you understand
Mhm.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like also she was really sweet, like very a sweet woman. And they made a great couple. And they're showing me there was nothing, it's so beautiful, their energy. They're like they had synergy together and they did things really well. And I feel like they had a great relationship. That's the
Mhm.
feeling I'm getting with them. And
Yeah.
it's very calm, like the relationship they have with one another. Mm, how sweet. He's sharing me that they were soulmates. Like, and I feel, and he's telling me, hmm, were they high school sweethearts? Did they go back that far?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's what he's sharing. And now he's is sharing with me his son. Is that your
Mhm.
father?
Yeah.
Is that your father? Okay. And does your father have dark hair? He's showing
Yes.
me like he has dark hair. Okay. Thank you. I gotta say, this is why I love doing mediumship. When you're in a bad mood, you have beautiful spirits that come through and just lift my spirits. Um, and that's what I definitely need. I think, well, myself, selfishly, I love doing this for that reason. And your father, he's showing. I feel, was he the oldest? Your father? I shouldn't be asking, but I feel like he was the oldest.
I think so.
Okay, okay. And very proud. He's very proud of his children. And as far as you, and I'm going to ask him to give me a message for you, Candace. And when I said that, I keep on hearing, follow your path, follow your path. And with that, he's showing me like, it's like, follow the yellow brick road, and it's sort of opening up, like you go and then sort of it's expanding and opening up. And the message also is that he's saying that he'll be there every step of the way. And I feel he's giving me the feeling that you do have that connection with your grandfather through the mediumship. And he's sharing with me that he is guiding you and you have that connection and you know that.
Mhm.
Um, and he just wants to, my daughter always says that, like, the simple messages that are so important, but he wants to tell you he loves you.
Yeah,
He adores you. He
thanks.
adores you. And I'll leave his love with you.
Oh, thanks so much. That was beautiful. So give some feedback, hey?
Sure.
So yes, he loved dressing up. It was very important for him to look smart, and he had his hat. And when you were talking about a song called Something with You and Me, I was just listening to a song, but it was called You and I, but it was also about like walking into the room and the presence. So I had to smile about that. But yeah, he walked and like whistled, and he loved his tea and his family, and um, I love the message, that he is that I must just follow my path because I've been working a lot on that, so it's nice to know that he's with me and loves me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're
I was very
welcome.
close to him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful, Joann. All right, we have Adrienne and Candace. Who would like to go next?
Go, unless you want to go, Candace. It doesn't matter to me either way.
Okay, you can go. I'll go last.
I go last. You go next to last. Okay.
All right. So I do feel like I have a male here with me. And like the first thing I'm getting is like uncle energy, but I don't know if that's the relationship to the setter or if he was just an uncle. And then like the second thing is fun uncle. So it's like I want to call him like a funkle or something like, he's like the fun one that when he comes around. Um, and I also want to throw out a J name, like Jerry, uh, which then also took me to Jerry Garcia. So I don't know if that's in reference to the rocker or the ice cream, you know, either or. I was kind of getting that a little bit. Um, and I did kind of like Google a little bit with Jerry Garcia just to find out a little more about him. And I know he was like a rocker in the 60s. So I want to kind of throw that out there as well. Um, but also, I kind of want to say that it might feel like there might be some kind of like resemblance with how Jerry Garcia looks and then maybe the guy in spirit. Like there might be a similarity there. Um, And yeah, like I keep getting like lots of like playful and fun energy with the spirit. So let me just kind of check in and see if anybody can understand him so far. If not, I'll keep going. No. Okay. I am feeling kind of drawn to you, Joann. I'll just kind of throw that out there, but I don't know if any of
Yeah,
this is like resonating.
I'm trying to.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
All right, let me keep going. I also feel like I want to say Mesa, and I feel like I want to go to the southwest of the United States. So I don't know if that's, you know, to Arizona specifically, um, or the mesas there, canyons. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to the southwest. Um, and I keep seeing a lot of like the red dirt, like the red dirt that they would have there. So I feel like he's taking me to this area. Um, and also, I don't even know if they're because I love flowers and plants and everything, but I don't know a lot of like specific names. So I don't know if there's one like where the petals would be like heart shaped, but I want to say like there's something about a flower with like heart shaped petals. Um, does any of that resonate? Let me just kind of ask if this is
The heart-shaped petals, I understand.
okay.
The Southwest, I'm not sure
Okay.
yet.
Okay. And with the guy or the resemblance or something with like Jerry Garcia or like
I have
with
to
any
look
of
up
that?
what he looks like. Did he
Okay.
have Jerry Garcia have a mustache?
Yes, I believe so. And I think like the beard from what I saw. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Well, that's older years,
yeah.
but
Oh, okay.
I think he had
Okay.
darker hair, younger. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Um, I'm listening. I'm listening,
okay.
Adrienne.
And he was also like the lead person for the Grateful Dead. I don't know if you're familiar with that music at all, but I saw that as well. Um, all right, let me see if yeah, there we go. There's a younger picture.
That's a lot of hair.
Definitely the rocker, right? All right, let me see what else I can get here. This seems kind of random, but anyhow, I'll just say it. Would you also understand the reference to like one of those the VW bugs, like the Beetles or whatever, like the small little, you know, compact little cars?
I'm I do. I'm aware of it. I mean, we used to like, obviously pinch each other when we don't see them when we
Mm-hmm. And
rode.
that's like the feeling I'm getting is like slug bug, no punch bag,
Yes,
like I'm feeling like
yes. Every time we
that
would
kind
see
of
them, we would
reference.
pinch each other. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, much nicer than what we would do, but that's funny. Any, but I feel like there's like this reference, just to like that fun energy, like that fun, you know, kid kid type of
Mhm.
energy. Um, and I also, oh gosh, I don't even know the name of the game, but I feel like I'm seeing kid games, and I feel like there's one where like in the center of it, you like push it down and it has like maybe the dice or something in it. I don't even know the name of it, but it's like a kid one. And like,
Mhm.
you have like maybe four different people playing or something and you're moving eventually up. Um,
Yeah.
so I feel like I'm getting lots of like kid game references. Twister as well is another one
Okay.
that's kind of coming up. Again, it's like this fun energy, kind of kid type stuff. But I feel like it's like when he comes around, like that's the kind of stuff that would be done, like this fun games and
Hmm.
Monopoly is another one. Like I'm getting all kinds of like, yeah, like kid games. Uh, okay. But I feel like when he's talking about Monopoly, he's kind of letting me know like that might be like a game that wouldn't always be fun because I feel like some people might take it more serious and like get upset, like, when they're losing money or
Hmm.
like I
Yes.
feel like the competition comes out or something like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Would you understand too? Because I don't know if this is a memory or he's just showing me like a reference to competition, but like somebody getting mad and like throwing stuff or like flipping it or like, like having like a little anger, like, I hate this game or something like that.
Um, okay. No, not that particular.
Okay.
Yeah.
But would you understand
But
the reference
something,
to
but
being like,
flipping over a table, yes.
okay,
So I think I know who you have.
okay, great. Thank you. Um, oof. I feel like he's kind of like being like this and being like, whew, I'm glad she like knows who it is now.
Ugh.
Because I feel like he was almost like, man, that was a lot of work, like for him, bringing all this up, and he's like laughing about it now. Um, I feel like there's just always such fun and like a lot of laughter when he's around.
Oh, wait a
I,
minute. So what did you say his name was?
well, I felt like there was a J name like Jerry, and I didn't know if it was just to the Jerry Garcia or he's referencing trying to get his name out as well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's and it felt like very much uncle energy, but I don't know if he is an uncle or just
Okay, okay, okay,
somebody's uncle. Um, uncle. I keep getting like the fun uncle, funkle.
okay.
Uh, I also feel like I want to make a reference to golf, but I almost want to say more like putt putt. Like if I feel like it's not traditional, like I'm seeing like the big golf course. I feel like I'm seeing like miniature golf or yeah, like
Yeah.
putt putt, like something like that.
I think he's describing all the things I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Would you also understand the reference to toast? And I want to say like cinnamon sugar toast or something. Like I feel like it's like a going back to childhood again, but I feel like there's like this reference to cinnamon sugar toast.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Um,
Hmm.
and then like a big glass of orange juice or something with it. I'm like, well, that's a lot
Oh,
of sugar, but
I don't know about that, but yeah, okay. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Thank you. See what else you might have here. I feel like also I want to reference cards. Like I almost want to specifically reference like Texas Hold'em. So I don't know if that's one of significance for you or like that's something he would have done or enjoyed. But I feel like I want to go to card games and I feel like needing to have like that poker face, so people don't know, like not to give away whatever you're doing.
Hmm.
Um, would you recognize this or understand that? Him talking about cards, like card games, poker.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like he's kind of referencing more the poker face and like needing to keep more of a poker face.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know if there's something you're currently working on because as I'm like asking him a little more about it, I'm like leaning in to ask him like, where are you going with this? He's
Uh-huh.
kind of letting me know like not to give too much away of like whatever it is that you're working
Mm-hmm.
on or trying to do, like whatever that next step is that you're
Mm-hmm.
venturing into, like keep a poker face or something like that until it like takes off because I don't know. He's talking about just like not giving away too much yet or something like that. Um that kind of makes sense. Um Let me just kind of lean in and see if he has anything else to say for a message. I don't feel like I'm getting huge messages. I feel like what he's kind of talking about is just keeping the fun and like the enjoyable side of life kind of just every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just really bringing that in and I don't know if something's been a little more stressful or something lately, but I kind of just feel like I want to say just relax and just go with the flow, like just let things unfold and let it just happen. And
Mhm.
yeah, bringing in just like that fun energy again.
Mhm.
Yeah, and with that, I think he kind of just pulls back his energy now, but I will leave him with you, and I hope you could take that. So
Thank you, Adrienne.
yeah.
The sad thing is, I've been asking, and I don't even know this is live stream, but I have a family member we had lost contact with, and he would have been like an uncle.
Oh.
Yeah. And and his name is Jorge, which is George, like he had, and you
Mm.
mentioned. But I don't know, which is interesting. And I think he was describing the things I did. I didn't play a whole lot of games, maybe as a kid. Um, my family doesn't like to play Monopoly because it's very competitive. Like I'm a competitive person. Um, oh, the cinnamon toast. So that sort of brought me a memory like when I was younger, but it wasn't me. It was my I have a large family, so my oldest sister's kids, they'd always make this cinnamon toast, like their house smelled like cinnamon. Always cinnamon, like toast. And then when you had mentioned about the glass of sugar, that's a lot of sugar. And then it sort of brought a memory that like he would know my sister who, yeah, would she
Mm.
needed a glass of orange juice because she was diabetic. So
Oh.
that sort of, when you had mentioned that, and they knew each other very well. Um, and I think the Southwest is something that I'm planning. So not something I don't even know if he's been there, but you know how spirit gives away secrets and things like that. So I think
Oh
that
yes.
tries. So that's what I'm contemplating. But thank you.
Yeah,
I have to
thank
look into
you.
that. Thank you.
Wow. Nice job, Adrienne. All right, Candace, you feeling it?
Yes.
All right, going up.
Okay, so I feel that I have a man with me, and he's showing me. I feel that he would have had a friendly smile, and he may also have had a moustache. You were talking about that earlier. Um, and I feel that he appreciated you keeping in touch, or that there would have been communication between the both of you. And I feel that this could be older brother. Can anybody take this so far? Joann?
I mean, I could take the description and
Okay.
everything.
Okay. Let me keep going. Let's see. And I also feel that, can you take that there would have been distance between the both of you at a
Yes.
time. And I also feel that he's saying that that distance didn't lessen the bond. Can you take that?
Um, well, I think I mean, when we got together, it was always, yes, sibling
Okay.
bond. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, because there were times that you didn't see him a lot. But he is making reference of the good times where I feel that you would have laughed at his jokes, or like you would have listened very seriously or like intently to his stories that he would have told about. Does that make sense?
I can't remember them, but
Oh, okay. Let me keep going.
yeah.
Um, he's making me feel like there would have been family meal times that you would have had together. Can you
Mhm.
take that? That I feel that
Oh,
he would
yeah.
have been grateful for, you know? And he is making me aware of like a lot of people talking all at once, and baby, you can't get a word in. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
most
Okay.
definitely.
And I feel like I care about everyone at the table or everyone who's in the room, you know?
Yes.
Um, let me just see what else he's giving me. Um, he is making me aware of that near the end that he wasn't able to do things for himself. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And but that I feel like he's also mentioning his mom, and I feel that he had a lot of love for his mom.
Yes.
Does it, you know,
Mhm.
and I feel like there's more that I would have wanted to do for her. Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
And can you also take that the closer you guys got closer as you got older, as you both got older? Does that make sense?
Sort of, yes, as we
Okay,
matured, I guess. Mm-hmm.
okay. Because I just feel like when you're kids and you're playing around, and then when we get into adulthood, I feel like more talk about responsibilities and things that really matter and acknowledging them. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he's making me feel like, oh, you know, I want to give more attention to my family,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and maybe that was just with growth. But I also feel that he's showing me something that may have been on an eyelid. And I don't know if this is his eyelid, but do you know if there was like something on an eyelid? I know that sounds weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Do
don't
you
know
know
about that.
like a growth or something?
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if was on him. I think it was on a lady, but let me just keep going. Let's see what else he's giving me. Because I feel like he would have taken also his responsibilities very like seriously, because I feel that there would have been, you know, people that counted on him and looked up to him, that he was a role model for them. You know what I mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he's showing me that there was somebody younger who I feel like he wanted to know if they got there okay. And I feel like it's a trip or like a bus ticket or something, or a plane ride, something that they would be catching to go to their destination. And I feel like I just want to make sure that they organized and go. Do you know about this or something like that?
I don't know, but I'm sure.
Okay.
Um,
Let's just see what else. Okay, would you understand that he would like be a warrior sometimes, or stress about his children and their whereabouts?
I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
And I feel that there was also something with time, like maybe he felt that at a stage he was running out of time. And maybe this is to do with health-wise, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's also making me aware of his shirts that they maybe didn't fit him anymore. So I feel that there could have been weight loss. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also the acknowledgement that he didn't really want to go out and buy more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's showing me a coin and I see it spinning, and I know a coin like has both sides. So he's making me feel like even though it was so difficult for him in his life and the things that he was going through, he had to look at the other side of the coin, which I feel would have been more family based.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe how he was really battling, he had to sometimes put on a brave face for those that he loved and those that who were around him a lot and all the time, you know.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't want to see them sad. Because I feel like he's also, I feel, going to a past memory or like a holiday where he may have been on a ship or by the water. Do you know if he enjoyed that?
Yes.
Okay. It was a time of relaxing, I feel, but I feel that he's making reference that he got to see all the nice things and all the things that brought joy. And when I say that, he's showing me like fireworks or like things
Mm-hmm.
of display that were maybe yearly or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but just like brought everybody together where they reflected back on their blessings that they have. Because he's showing me a photo album, and I feel like I'm going backwards and seeing a picture of him being so little, like a child. And he's like, oh, I can't believe I was that little, you know. But I feel a kindness in him also, you know, that someone else who may have been standing with him, or even like another sibling, I feel like he would have looked at this person and said, you have a turn, or you come play with me, you know, something like that. Do you have a memory of something like that, where he would have included a sibling to play?
I was too young.
Okay. I just feel like it's his caring heart, you know, that he would have acknowledged others around him. That's how it's making me feel. Let's see. Can you take that you may have been like your mom's, like the apple of her eye or something like that, that saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you came along, you're really cute and like everyone dotted around you, you know, and he's showing me like strawberries, and I just felt like he would have noticed this, you know. Yeah, and like sitting on the furniture on the couch, and maybe sitting like furthest away from the parents because they were all the others sitting closest to her, you know. But he's making me feel like you needed her more, like you needed her at that time, maybe when he was visiting or something, when you were younger, you know. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And he's like, I'm going a little bit to message. I know I have 2 minutes left, but I feel like he's saying when you write, you mustn't just write on like a boring pen like this. You must write like with a pen that's got something attached to it that makes it enjoyable to want to write, you know, like something cute or something of color. Because I feel like there's so many things out there and like so many tools that you can use that will give you inspiration and actually want you to pick up the pen again. And I feel that he's saying that you have so many stories left to write, you know, like you're not finished, or you're not finished talking and using your voice. So I feel like he watches this from, you know, the sideline, and it touches his heart and makes him smile, you know. But I feel that you definitely made a difference in his life when he was here. And he's also just acknowledging that, you know, even though it was difficult for you and you had your own life to live and your own responsibilities, that you would have like always included him, even if it was just in thoughts, you know. So I leave you all his love.
Thank you, Candace. That's the most he spoke. That's my brother who passed away this year, actually. And he had an illness that was debilitating. So I can see, you know, he lost weight, like you had said, and everything. And he was my oldest brother. So he was 18 years older than me. So when I came along, he basically, I think he was, yeah, he wasn't around me very often. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
But I did include him in holidays and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank you. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Oh, nice job, Candace. All right, I'm going to go grab a spirit, and I'll tell you what, every spirit we've had in here today has been a male. So I'm going to see if I can reach out and grab a female just to do something different. So let's see who's here. Yeah. Okay. So ladies coming in, and I am hearing, I don't know if this is an initial or a name, but it's K. All right. Let me lean into that a bit. So when I have a look at her, she is a lady who's, I'm going to say, well put together. She had her hair done at the beauty shop, and it's kind of a little shorter than mine and just like really nicely done. Also had her nails done, and she's showing me herself at about age 70. And at this point in time, I'm still going to say that this lady was a babe. So does anybody know anybody who might fit this description? Not yet. All right, let me lean a little more into her.
Listening. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tammy. You know her?
I'm listening.
Oh, you're listening. Okay. All right. Let's see. Uh, I feel like she had an affinity for art and beautiful things. And I'm going to say it's an appreciation more than anything, where if she saw anything that was beautiful, whether it be a sunset, a dress, a piece of art, a person, if it was beautiful, she'd stop and look at it and appreciate it. Would you understand the appreciation for beauty, Tammy?
I would think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You also feel like she liked white wine. Would you know if she liked white wine?
Wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know? Okay.
Could
Uh,
imagine, but I don't know.
okay. Okay. I feel like white wine is the thing. Let's see. I also feel like she had a fondness for, uh, I'm going to say classical music. I feel like she appreciated like traditional symphony music, and she would do that. Would you know?
I wouldn't know that
Wouldn't
about
know
her.
that either. Okay. All right. Okay. So, for the benefit of our viewing audience here, I've given Tammy two pieces of information that she just doesn't know the answer to. So, I have to ask Spirit to give me something that Tammy would know. And she's showing me what I think is a memory. And what I'm looking at, I'm inside a building that looks like a small restaurant or cafe that has a plate glass window in the front that seems to take up like the whole building. Okay. And you can look out onto the street, see people passing by. So people can walk. And the inside of this restaurant seems to have small tables, like tables for two. Okay. Would you know this little cafe or whatever this is that she's showing me?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Show me something else, Spirit. She's, this is going off in a weird direction, but I'm going to run with it. She's now talking about genealogy, but I think she's talking about genealogy in reference to you. Are you doing anything with genealogy recently?
Not really. I mean, I've got an idea of what she might be thinking, but it's not really. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm puzzling that one out. Let's see. I feel like this woman had a passport and traveled internationally. Would you know that?
Not that I know of.
Okay, not that you know of. Okay. You know of no travel at all?
She could have. It's not.
Okay. Just not your bailiwick. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I feel like well, yeah, obviously this does not feel like family to me, but this feels like um somebody who's further out, and for the benefit of the people who are watching, when that happens, it's kind of interesting because we have to look for different kinds of evidence to make our sitters understand who this person is, and make the reading come to life. So I'm going to see what I can see. Was there a male named Richard around this woman that you would know?
Oh gosh, let me see. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of
Okay, I'll set that to this side. I feel like they,
no.
okay, I feel like they had were comfortable financially, that
Yeah.
okay, she could afford um the finer things in life. Let's see what else I want to say. Hmm. Okay, was there uh this looks like a wedding. Was there a wedding that happened where the two of you intersected that you can remember? If it's not a wedding, it's like a big wedding type celebration where everyone is dressed up and there's like 300 people here.
No, wow. I no, I
Okay, let's see.
maybe you're not with me. Is everybody else listening?
Yeah, okay, all right. I feel like I'm with you, Tammy, and I'm just doing a bad job of describing it. So let's see what we can see here.
Well,
Okay, I want to go back to this scene with all these people, because this place where this is pretty distinctive. Okay, and I see this expansive lawn that goes all the way down to a lake, and then right at the edge of the lake, there's a building with white pillars. Okay, and it's like a building's the wrong word. I'm going to say like a pavilion. It's an open air thing, but it has white pillars on it. But it's right there on the edge of a lake, and it's just absolutely beautiful. That ringing any bells for you? No?
no.
Okay. All right.
Carol, I can take this wedding that we recently went to and the name Richard, but I'm not sure about the woman. I'm just not sure who that is.
Okay. I'm wondering, okay. So for the benefit of our viewing audience, what I may have done is I may have brought in two spirits simultaneously and had it applied to two different people. And now I have to sort that out in 2 minutes. So let me go back to Tammy's woman. Okay. And I'm going to go back to Tammy to see what you know. You know this woman who was very well put together with the hair that was done, the nails, and she was still quite beautiful at age 70 or so. Okay, you know her, correct? But that woman is,
I do. And I also want to say that what you were describing for the building, it would describe the building, but it wasn't a restaurant. And there weren't tables in it, but there were big windows that looked out onto a street with people would have been
okay,
passing. But
okay,
it's tables,
okay.
a restaurant.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's go back to this woman. And she did have the appreciation for the arts and beautiful things.
Yeah.
Okay. She's telling me that she knew some people who were relatively famous. Would you know?
Don't know. I don't know that.
That's interesting. Never had that come up before. Uh, let's see what else we can see. I actually am feeling my hands. So this is a clue. Spirit makes you do things that you normally wouldn't do, and I'm feeling my hands, which makes me think that this woman had issues with her hands, maybe arthritis later in her life. Would you know, Tammy?
I no, I wouldn't know.
You don't know. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to see if I can grab a quick message from her and in which and she's telling me that she wants you to think outside of the box. Okay. She's saying that you're too regimented in the way that you work, and she wants you to think outside of the box. And I'm going to leave you that with light and love. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Carol.
Thanks for letting me serve spirit.
Would you want some feedback on,
Please.
the reason I didn't know a lot of it is because I really knew her more when I was younger, like younger up into probably like maybe through high school, and then after that, I really didn't know her. The K name, it sounds like a K because it's a K sound. It's actually started with a C,
Okay.
but it's the same sound. She actually always dressed to the nines and with the short hair, very attractive, very appreciative of all beautiful things. And the space you described was she owned a clothing store. And that's how it looked. It was these big windows that faced out
the big window. Okay.
to the street and the sidewalk. But inside, instead of tables, were beautiful clothes. And she always like looked,
And she wore them. Well, perfect. Okay. Well, thank you for the feedback. Well, now that we're all finished and we have a little extra time, I thought of some questions during the readings that were going on, and I wanted to address them with everyone. Okay. And I'm going to go in order, if that's okay. And I'm going to start with Tammy. Okay. Because Tammy, the man that you brought in with me, for me, my former boyfriend who dumped me, as far as I know, is still alive. Now, can you provide our listening audience with some insights on how that can happen?
Yes. So what we've discovered, or everybody has different theories that are constantly evolving and changing as we do this work and read, and of course nobody knows exactly what's right because we're not there. We're here in these human bodies, and my personal philosophy is very much that, well, we all know we're energy. That's been stated by Einstein and others. But that when we become embodied, we don't bring all of that energy with us. And so some of that energy is somewhere else. And we have had a lot of readings in this group where spirits who are embodied are coming to speak with us. And sometimes today, I think, might be the first day where they weren't coming with a need. When they've come before, they've generally had a need that they've expressed, something that they wanted help with. And so we've really thought that it's their higher selves stepping in and communicating with us to see if there's some way that we can help them with things that are going on in their lives at that moment, or help them get back on their path. And a friend of mine has coined it living mediumship. And so we're doing living mediumship here, as well as for those mediumship for those who are on the other side of the veil.
Mhm.
And so it's when they come through. And I would say that's pretty much explains it, unless anyone else has anything more to add to it.
So I want to ask, is there typically when that happens, that I've had that happen, is when they're really close to crossing over.
Mhm.
That's when I've had a connection where you feel that they're in spirit, but they're not. But they're in a comatose state, or they're towards the end of their life when that's happened
And
for
that could
me.
and that could be the
Mhm.
case with the
Mhm.
spirit that Tammy brought in for me, because honestly, I've not heard from that man for 40 years, so I have no idea what the state of his health is. So,
Mhm.
but both are viable explanations.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's possible. Though,
Yeah.
remember, I also brought in the ice skater, who I don't think she was near passing over. You knew the ice skater, Carol. Remember she was
I hate to say I don't remember Tammy. I
okay.
just did. Yeah. Yeah, my
And
mind's
and
kind of like on this thing today. So,
and also how I feel it's spirit bringing information that the sitter understands. Like information sometimes, like they're like, oh, well, that person's living, but there's spirit who's telling the sitter that they know this person because this person was very significant in their life. So they'll bring that up as well, right? Um, but it's still information. And it and some people think we're reading psychically, but we're not, because we're allowing spirit to come through and give us that information,
mhm. Yeah,
so that we're delivering. Do you understand? I mean, I hope I said that clearly.
I think you did. Yeah.
Okay.
100%. Okay. All right. Now, let's move over to, um, okay, um, Adrienne. Joann actually used the term light worker. She referred to her spirit as a light worker. Do you remember that when she was reading? Wasn't even aware that she said it. Can you define what a light worker is for the benefit of people who are listening?
I can try.
Yeah, give it a shot. Go ahead.
Um, to me, how I would kind of describe a light worker, I guess, would be anyone that's kind of connected to source and able to kind of spread that, whether that's through word or energy, readings, um, is kind of to uplift people where they can and how they can. And yeah, I guess that would be kind of like my simple definition of it. If anybody else has a better, I don't know, sometimes I'm not the best at explaining things, but a better way to explain it, but that's kind of how I take it.
Do you have any thoughts on the light worker, Candace?
I just thought it was, so yeah, the same. Somebody who did that kind of stuff, like spiritual stuff, who maybe was a healer or a reader or somebody who helps people share the light that they have, which comes from within, from source.
Okay. Well, I always thought of a light worker as being someone who brought light into the darkness. And it was kind of interesting because when Joann did her reading, she actually said that the spirit that she was talking with lifted her own spirit with his energy. And so that's, in my mind, what light working does, is it lifts people up. And I hope that we've done that for our viewing audience today. Okay, we thank you for listening, and we're going to be back on at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday. So we hope you come back and join us at that point in time. But in the meantime, I'm going to shut us down with a closing prayer. If everyone would join me, please. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Thank you for the gift of mediumship that you've given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless all of our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy into the lives of people who have sorrow, health into the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Thank you for the lessons that you've given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen. Thank you for coming, and hope we see you next Saturday. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.